The Galactic Council chamber was quiet. Too quiet. Commander HFY sat in his large chair. His blue skin glowed under the lights. Around him sat leaders from 47 different species. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some had nothing but metal bodies. Today was different. Today was story day. Every month the council shared old tales. Stories from ancient times. Stories that made young aliens wonder about the universe. HFY cleared his throat. Today I will tell you about humans. A few aliens laughed. One young alien named Kira leaned forward. Her green eyes were bright with interest. Humans, HFY continued, were creatures from a planet called Earth. The stories say they were warriors. Fierce warriors who never surrendered. Are they real? Asked Kira. An old alien named Throck laughed loudly. Real? No, child. Humans are just stories. Tales we tell to scare children into behaving. Other council members nodded. They had heard these stories before. Everyone knew humans were not real. Just legends. Just myths. HFY smiled. The ancient books say humans fought a great war. They faced an enemy called the Devourer. Machines that destroyed planets. The humans fought bravely. But they lost. They all died 500 years ago. Or they never existed at all, Throck added. Most likely, someone made up these stories long ago. The meeting continued. They talked about trade. They talked about loss. They talked about boring things that made Kira yawn. After the meeting, Kira went to the library. She loved reading old files. Old data from forgotten times. She searched for humans in the ancient database. Most files were empty. Most were deleted. But then she found something. A video file. Very old. The date said, 500 years ago. Her hands shook as she opened it. The video was damaged. The picture moved in and out. But she could see it clearly. A ship. A massive ship with strange markings. The design was unlike anything in the modern galaxy. And there were words on the side, Unity forward unto dawn, Earth. Kira's heart beat fast. This was proof. Proof that humans were real. She copied the file onto a data pad. She ran back to the council chamber. Commander HFY. Commander HFY, she shouted. HFY was tired. He wanted to rest. What is it, child? Look. She showed him the video. Humans are real. I found a ship. HFY watched the video. His face did not change. This is an old fake file, he said. Someone made this as a joke long ago. But sir. Enough, Kira. Go home. Stop wasting time on fairy tales. Kira felt sad. Nobody believed her. Nobody wanted to believe. She walked slowly to her quarters. The space station was huge. It floated near the center of the galaxy. This was where all species came to talk. To trade. To live in peace. That night, Kira could not sleep. She kept thinking about the ship. About humans. Were they really just stories? At 3 a.m. the alarms started ringing. Loud. Piercing. Emergency alarms. Kira jumped out of bed. She ran to her window. The space around the station was empty. Dark. Quiet. Then she saw them. Strange signals on her data pad. Something was coming. Something big. She grabbed her communicator. Control room. What is happening? A panicked voice answered. Unknown objects detected. 5 massive signatures. Coming out of hyperspace. Kira ran to the observation deck. Other aliens were already there. Everyone looked scared. The space in front of them began to shimmer. Reality itself seemed to bend. Then they appeared. 5 ships. Massive ships. Each one was 3 kilometers long. Their hulls were dark gray. Battle scars covered every surface. These ships had seen war. Real war. The design was old. Ancient. But somehow still powerful. Kira gasped. She recognized that design. From the video. From the ancient file. Human ships, she whispered. Commander HFY arrived at the observation deck. His face was pale. That's impossible, he said. All the screens in the station flickered. Then they went dark. A voice spoke. Female. Come. Strong. This is Captain Sarah Chin of the Earth Colonial Fleet. I understand you've been telling stories about us. The entire council stood frozen. We heard you think we're legends. Fairy tales. The voice paused. We're here to correct that misunderstanding. One by one the screens turned on. They showed a woman. She had dark hair tied back. Her eyes were sharp. Cold. She wore a military uniform. Behind her, dozens of crew members worked at their stations. Humans? Throck's voice shook. Humans are real? Sarah Chin smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Very real. And we heard you were looking for us. Suddenly, an old alien in the corner stood up. His hands trembled. He stared at the screen with wide eyes. By the stars, he whispered. That's a Titan-class warship. I've only seen it in ancient books. He turned to the council, his voice full of fear. Those designs, humans didn't just survive. They've been building. Preparing. Sarah's image grew larger on the screen. We need to talk. The council chamber was in chaos. Aliens shouted at each other. Some were scared. Some were angry. Some did not know what to feel. Order. I need order. Commander ZYX shouted. His voice barely rose above the noise. On the main screen, Captain Sarah Chin waited. She looked patient. Too patient. Like a predator watching its prey. Finally, the room went quiet. Good, Sarah said. Now we can talk like civilized beings. Throck stepped forward. His old body shook with rage. Where have you been? Why hide for 500 years? Why come now? Sarah's expression did not change. We had our reasons. Reasons you will understand soon. She pressed a button. The screens changed. They showed a star map. A massive star map. Red dots filled the screen. Hundreds of them. These, Sarah explained, are human colonies. 30 worlds. 50 space stations. 20 mining operations. All hidden. All waiting. Kira's mouth fell open. 30 worlds? But how? We scan the galaxy constantly. How did we miss you? Sarah smiled slightly. Because we learned from the best. We learned from our enemies. We learned to hide. To wait. To watch. One of the council members, a reptilian named Cess, hissed angrily. You watched us. You spied on us. Yes. Sarah's answer was simple. Direct. No apology. That is illegal. Cess shouted. That violates galactic law. Sarah laughed. It was a cold sound. Galactic law? Your laws apply to council members. We never joined your council. We never asked for your permission. The words hit hard. She was right. Humans were not part of the Galactic Council. They owed these aliens nothing. Elder ZYX raised his hand. The room went quiet again. Captain Chin, we need answers. 500 years ago, our records say humans fought the Devourer. The records say you lost. The records say your species died. Your records are wrong, Sarah said. We did fight the Devourer. We fought them for 10 years. They destroyed our colonies. They killed billions of our people. Earth itself was nearly destroyed. She paused. Her eyes grew dark. Painful memories flashed across her face. But we did not die. We ran. We scattered across the galaxy. We hid like rats in the darkness. And we survived. Why not ask for help? Kira asked softly. We could have helped you. Sarah turned to look at Kira. Really look at her. You were not strong enough. 500 years ago the council was weak. If we had come to you, the Devourer would have found us. Would have found you. Everyone would have died. The truth of her words sank in. The council had been weak back then. Divided. Unprepared. So you abandoned us, Throck said bitterly. We saved you, Sarah corrected. By running we led the Devourer away. They followed us into deep space. Away from council worlds. You survived because we left. Nobody spoke. What could they say? Another council member, a floating creature named Ven, asked the most important question. Why return now? What changed? Sarah's face became serious. Very serious. Because running time is over. Because the threat is returning. Because whether we like it or not, we are all in danger now. She pressed another button. The screen changed again. This time it showed destroyed planets. Shattered moons. Dead worlds. These images are from 3 months ago. The Devourer has awakened. They are moving again. Consuming. Destroying. Killing. The council members stared in horror. Impossible, Cess whispered. The Devourer is ancient history. A myth within myths. Like humans? Sarah asked. You thought we were myths too. You were wrong then. You are wrong now. She showed more images. Battle footage. Massive machines destroying ships. Planets burning. The Devourer is real. They are coming. And this time they are stronger. Smarter. More dangerous. Kira felt cold. Very cold. How long do we have? Sarah looked directly at her. Their scout ships will arrive in approximately 48 hours. Their main fleet? Maybe a week. Maybe less. The room erupted again. Panic. Pure panic. We need to evacuate, someone shouted. Where can we run? Another cried. Silence. ZYX commanded. He turned to Sarah. Why tell us this? Why warn us? Sarah's eyes were hard. Because we cannot fight them alone. Not anymore. They are too many. Too powerful. We need allies. You need us, Throck said slowly. Yes, Sarah admitted. We need you. And you need us. This is not charity. This is survival. ZYX thought for a long moment. The entire council waited for his decision. What do you propose? He finally asked. Sarah leaned forward. A partnership. Temporary. We share our military knowledge. You share your resources. Together we prepare. Together we fight. And if we refuse? Cess asked. Sarah's expression became cold. Empty. Then you die. Simple as that. Before anyone could respond, the alarm started ringing again. Louder this time. More urgent. A technician's voice came over the speakers. Commander. Multiple contacts detected. 3 large objects exiting hyperspace. Unknown design. They're massive. Everyone ran to the windows. To the screens. 3 ships appeared. But these were not human ships. These were dark. Twisted. Wrong. They looked like someone had built ships from nightmares. Kira's voice was barely a whisper. What are those? Sarah's face went pale. Devourer scouts. They're early. She grabbed her communicator. All human ships battle stations. This is not a drill. She looked at the council one last time. You wanted proof? You're about to get it. Watch closely. Watch what humans can do. The 3 Devourer scout ships hung in space like dark clouds. They did not move. They just waited. Watching. How big are they? ZYX asked. His voice shook. A technician checked his screen. Each one is 4 kilometers long. Mass readings are impossible. The sensors cannot calculate properly. 4 kilometers? Cess hissed. That's larger than our biggest battleship. On the main screen, Sarah was already giving orders to her crew. Target their engine sections. Use torpedo pattern Delta 7. All ships maintain 2-kilometer distance. One of the council members, a bird-like alien named Kree, stood up. Wait. We should try to communicate with them first. Maybe they can be reasoned with. Sarah turned to face him. Her expression was cold. You cannot reason with machines. The Devourer does not negotiate. It does not talk. It only consumes. But... Kree, shut up, Throck interrupted. Let the human work. The Council's defense fleet moved into position. 20 ships. All armed. All ready. Or so they thought. Council fleet, this is Captain Chin, Sarah's voice came through the speakers. I strongly advise you to hold position. Let us handle this. Commander ZYX frowned. We have 20 ships. You have 5. We should attack together. Your ships are not designed for this fight, Sarah said firmly. Trust me. Please. But pride is a powerful thing. Even for aliens. Attack formation. ZYX ordered. All ships fire at will. The Council ships opened fire. Energy beams. Missiles. Plasma cannons. Everything they had. The weapons hit the Devourer scouts. Bright explosions covered their hulls. For a moment, everyone hoped. Then the smoke cleared. The scouts had no damage. Not even a scratch. Impossible, Kree whispered. The Devourer scouts finally moved. Slowly. Deliberately. Beams of red light shot from their hulls. 3 beams. 3 Council ships. The ships exploded instantly. No warning. No chance to escape. 15 crew members died in seconds. All ships retreat. ZYX shouted. Retreat now. The Council fleet scattered. They ran like frightened children. 2 more ships were hit. 1 exploded. The other lost power and drifted helplessly. Now, Sarah said quietly. Human fleet engage. The 5 human ships moved forward. Not fast. Not rushing. Calm and controlled. They moved in a pattern. A dance. Each ship knew exactly where to go. What are they doing? Kira asked. She watched the screens carefully. The human ships split up. 2 went left. 2 went right. Sarah's flagship went straight forward. The Devourer scouts turned to face them. Red beams charged up. But the human ships were already moving. Spinning. Dodging. The beams missed. Fire, Sarah commanded. The human ships launched torpedoes. But not at the hulls. At specific points. Weak points. The torpedoes hit. Small explosions. Nothing like the Council's massive attack. But something was different. The Devourer scouts shook. Their hulls cracked. Energy leaked from the wounds. She knows where to hit them, Throck said with wonder. She knows their weak points. The battle continued. The human ships danced around the scouts. Always moving. Never stopping. Each attack hit a weak point. Each attack caused real damage. One scout tried to retreat. Sarah's ship chased it. No survivors, she said coldly. Fire everything. Her ship launched a massive torpedo. It hit the scout's engine core. The explosion was beautiful and terrible. The scout broke into 1,000 pieces. The remaining 2 scouts fought harder. Faster. Desperate. But humans are good at one thing. Humans are good at war. 10 minutes later, all 3 scouts were destroyed. Debris floated in space. The council watched in complete silence. Sarah's face appeared on the screen again. She looked tired. Sad even. That was easy, she said. Those were just scouts. Small ships. Weak ships. The real fleet will be much worse. ZYX found his voice. How? How did you know where to hit them? Because we have been studying them for 500 years, Sarah answered. We have been learning. Preparing. While you told stories about us, we were becoming the warriors those stories described. Kira stepped forward. Captain Shin, what do we do now? Before Sarah could answer, her communication officer spoke urgently. Captain. Incoming message from Earth Command. Priority Alpha. Sarah's face changed. The color drained from her skin. She listened to her earpiece. Her hands gripped the armrest of her chair. When? She asked quietly. How many? Whatever answer she received made her close her eyes. Understood. Chin out. She looked at the council. For the first time she looked scared. The Devourer main fleet has been detected. They are moving toward council space. We have 72 hours. Maybe less. How many ships? Cess asked. He did not want to know the answer. Sarah's voice was barely above a whisper. Our sensors detected 105 ships. Each one 10 times larger than those scouts. The council chamber was silent. Completely silent. Then Kira asked the question everyone was thinking. Can we win? Sarah looked at her. Really looked at her. I do not know. But if we do nothing, we will certainly die. She stood up. Her military bearing returned. Here's what happens now. You will listen to every word I say. You will follow every order I give. You will work together like never before. Who put you in charge? Cess demanded. Sarah's eyes were hard as steel. I did. Because I am the only one here who knows how to fight these things. Because I am the only one who has survived them before. And because if you do not listen to me, everyone in this galaxy will die. She let that sink in. So I ask you now, will you fight? Or will you run? ZYX looked at his fellow council members. Some looked afraid. Some looked angry. But all of them knew the truth. They had no choice. We will fight, ZYX said firmly. Tell us what to do. Sarah nodded. Good. We start now. Every minute counts. She pulled up a holographic display. It showed the space station. The surrounding area. Defense positions. First we build traps. Second we train your crews. Third we prepare for the battle of our lives. Kira moved closer to the screen. What can I do? Sarah smiled slightly. The first real smile since she arrived. You found us. You believed when no one else did. You will help me coordinate the defense teams. You will be my liaison with the council. Me? Kira was shocked. But I am just. You are brave, Sarah interrupted. That is all that matters now. The next 72 hours would be the longest of their lives. The council worked alongside humans for the first time in history. They built mines. They positioned ships. They created ambush points. Sarah barely slept. She moved from station to station. Teaching. Training. Preparing. Kira followed her everywhere. Learning. Watching. Understanding. Why do humans fight so well? Kira asked during a brief rest period. Sarah looked at her with tired eyes. Because we have no choice. Because our history is written in blood and survival. Because we learned long ago that the universe does not care if we live or die. So we fight. Always. Does it ever get easier? No, Sarah said honestly. It gets harder. Every battle. Every death. But we keep fighting anyway. The 72 hours passed too quickly. The sensors began beeping. Warning signals filled the control room. They are here, a technician announced. On the main screen, space began to shimmer. Reality bent and twisted. Then they appeared. Not 105 ships. More. The sensors recounted. 110 ships detected. Correction. 115, still counting. Sarah walked to the window. She looked at the massive fleet arriving. Her reflection in the glass looked small, fragile. Final count, the technician's voice shook. 127 Devourer ships. All capital class. Throck came to stand beside Sarah. We are going to die, are we not? Sarah did not answer immediately. She just watched the enemy fleet organize itself. Finally she spoke. Maybe. Probably. But we will make them remember this day. We will make them bleed. She picked up the radio. Her voice echoed across all channels. All ships. Human and council alike. All ships, this is Captain Sarah Chin. In a few minutes we fight. Some of us will die. Maybe all of us will die. But we will not die quietly. We will not die easily. She paused. Took a breath. The galaxy called humans legends. Today we prove legends are real. Today we show them what humans can do. Today we fight not just for survival. We fight for every species in this galaxy. We fight so that tomorrow someone will remember. Someone will tell stories about this day. Her voice grew stronger, fiercer. So pick up your weapons. Man your stations. And let us write a legend worth telling. In the council chamber, ZYX looked at his fellow members. She is right. Today we become legends together. Kira strapped herself into her station. Her hands shook, but she was ready. The Devourer fleet began to move forward. The battle was about to begin. The Devourer fleet moved like a dark wall. Slow. Patient. They knew they had already won. Sarah watched them approach. Her tactical display showed every ship, every position, every threat. They are not rushing, she said to her crew. They think this will be easy. Her first officer, a man named Marcus, nodded. Let them think that. Overconfidence is a weakness. On the council command deck, ZYX gave his orders. All defensive positions hold your fire. Wait for Captain Chen's signal. The tension was unbearable. Every second felt like an hour. The Devourer ships came closer. 1 kilometer away. Then 800 meters. Then 500. Now, Sarah whispered. She pressed a button. Space exploded. The mines they had planted activated. Dozens of them. Hidden in the debris field. Hidden in old satellites. Hidden everywhere. 10 Devourer ships were caught in the blast. Their shields flickered. Their hulls cracked. The enemy fleet stopped. Surprised. Confused. All ships attack pattern Alpha. Sarah commanded. Hit them now while they are disorganized. The 5 human ships burst forward. Energy weapons blazing. Torpedoes launching. The council fleet followed. 20 ships attacking from different angles. For a moment it looked like they had a chance. Then the Devourer fleet responded. Red beams filled the space. Hundreds of them. A storm of death. 3 council ships exploded immediately. 2 more lost shields and drifted away burning. Evasive maneuvers. ZYX shouted. Do not fly straight. Keep moving. The human ships danced through the beams. Spinning. Dodging. Moving like they could predict where each shot would go. Kira watched from her station. How are they doing that? A human engineer named Mike worked beside her. Practice. We have been training for this our whole lives. Every human pilot knows these patterns. Teach me, Kira said urgently. Mike smiled. Stay alive first. Then I will teach you everything. Sarah's ship targeted a Devourer cruiser. Fire torpedoes. Target coordinates 447-889-223. The torpedoes launched. They hit a specific point on the enemy hull. The cruiser shuddered. An explosion rippled across its surface. Weak point confirmed, Marcus reported. Same design as 500 years ago. They did not upgrade. Their mistake, Sarah said coldly. Send coordinates to all council ships. Tell them where to aim. The battle raged. Ships exploded on both sides. The space between them filled with fire and debris. One council ship, commanded by Cess, took a direct hit. His shields failed. His engine caught fire. This is Cess. We are hit. Life support failing. Sarah made a decision. Human ship Thunder, break formation. Rescue that crew. But Captain, we need every ship. Now. Sarah's voice was iron. The Thunder dove toward Cess's dying ship. It fired suppression beams to keep Devourer fighters away. It docked quickly. Rescued Cess and his crew. Cess's voice came over the radio. Shaking. Grateful. Thank you, Captain Chin. Thank you. Thank me by living, Sarah replied. Thunder, get back in formation. But the Devourer were learning. They adapted. Changed their patterns. Focused their fire. A human destroyer, the Valiant, was surrounded. 5 Devourer ships concentrated their beams on it. Valiant is taking heavy damage. Marcus reported. Shields at 15%. Sarah's hands gripped her chair. Valiant, retreat. Get out of there. The Valiant's captain, a woman named Rodriguez, laughed over the radio. It was a sad laugh. No can do, Captain. My engines are dead. But I can still fight. Rodriguez, that is an order. Sorry, Captain. Connection is breaking up. Cannot hear you. Rodriguez was lying. The connection was perfect. Sarah knew what was about to happen. She had seen it before. Too many times. Rodriguez, do not. It has been an honor, Captain. Tell my daughter I love her. Tell her I fought well. The Valiant turned toward the enemy. It accelerated using emergency thrusters. Heading straight into the largest Devourer battleship. For Earth. Rodriguez screamed. The Valiant crashed into the battleship at full speed. Its reactor overloaded. The explosion was massive. Blinding. Both ships were destroyed instantly. The shockwave damaged 3 other Devourer vessels. Sarah closed her eyes. Her jaw clenched tight. Captain? Marcus asked quietly. Mark her name, Sarah said. Her voice was thick with emotion. Rodriguez. Valiant. Heroes. The battle continued. Brutal. Endless. Kira's station suddenly sparked. An energy surge. Mike. Help. Mike ran over. He worked fast. Hold this wire. Do not let go. It is hot. I know. Hold it anyway. They fixed the station together. Kira's hands were burned. But the station worked. You did good, Mike said. Real good. Kira smiled through the pain. Humans are crazy. But I like it. Another explosion rocked the command deck. A Devourer fighter had broken through. It was firing on the station itself. Shields at 40%. A technician yelled. Return fire. ZYX commanded. The station's defensive weapons engaged. But the fighter was fast. Too fast. Then Sarah's flagship appeared. It positioned itself between the fighter and the station. You want the station? Sarah's voice was pure rage. You go through me first. Her ship fired everything. The fighter exploded. But Sarah's ship took damage. Heavy damage. Hull breach on decks 4 through 7. Fire in the engine room. Status report. Sarah demanded. Marcus checked his console. His face was grim. Main engines at 30%. Weapons at 50%. Life support, failing. Sarah looked at the tactical display. They had destroyed 35 Devourer ships. But 92 remained. And the human fleet was down to 4 ships. The Council fleet had only 12 ships left. They were losing. Captain, Marcus said quietly. We cannot win this. We should retreat. Save who we can. Sarah stared at the screen. At the enemy. At the death surrounding them. No, she said finally. We hold the line. We buy time. Time for what? Sarah smiled. It was a strange smile. Sad but also hopeful. Time for hope. She opened a secure channel. A channel only she could access. Earth Command, this is Captain Sarah Chin. Authorization code Alpha Omega 773. A voice responded immediately. This is Earth Command. We read you, Captain. Execute Operation Homecoming. The path is clear. Come home. There was a pause. Confirmed, Captain. Fleet is en route. ETA 20 minutes. We will hold until then. Chin out. She turned to her crew. 20 minutes. We hold for 20 minutes. Can we do that? Marcus looked at the screens. At the impossible odds. We can try. Good enough, Sarah said. All ships, this is Chin. New orders. We do not need to win. We just need to survive 20 more minutes. Fight smart. Fight careful. Stay alive. Kira heard the message. 20 minutes? What happens in 20 minutes? Mike grinned. You will see. Trust me. You will see. The battle entered a new phase. The humans stopped trying to destroy the enemy. They focused on survival. Dodging. Blocking. Distracting. The Devourer pressed harder. They could sense victory. Sarah's ship took another hit. Then another. Life support at 15%. We need to evacuate. Negative, Sarah said calmly. We hold. Captain, we are dying. 20 minutes, Sarah repeated. We hold. 15 minutes passed. Sarah's ship was falling apart. Fires everywhere. Half the crew was injured. 10 minutes. A council ship exploded. Only 11 remained. 5 minutes. Sarah's tactical screen went dark. We are blind. I cannot see the enemy positions. Trust your instincts. Marcus shouted. Fly by feel. 2 minutes. The station's shields failed. Direct hits on the hull. People were dying. 1 minute. Sarah's ship lost power completely. They drifted in space. Helpless. The Devourer battleships moved in for the kill. Their weapons charged. ZYX watched from the station. He saw Sarah's ship floating dead in space. This is the end, he whispered. Then Kira shouted. Look at the sensors. The space behind them shimmered. Reality bent and twisted. Then they came. Not 5 ships. Not 20 ships. Hundreds. Hundreds of human ships emerged from hyperspace. Modern ships. Powerful ships. Beautiful ships. The entire Earth fleet had arrived. A new voice came over the radio. Strong. Commanding. This is Admiral Marcus Chin of the Earth Defense Fleet. Sorry we are late. Let us finish this. On Sarah's dying ship, she smiled. Tears ran down her face. Dad, she whispered. You came. Always, little star. The Admiral's voice was gentle. Always. Then his voice changed. Became hard. Became fury. All ships, weapons free. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth's children. Show them what happens when you wake the sleeping giant. For Rodriguez. For the fallen. For humanity. The Earth fleet opened fire. And the real battle began. The Earth fleet spread across space like a steel curtain. Hundreds of ships. All modern. All powerful. All ready for war. Admiral Marcus Chin stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Indomitable. He was an older man. Gray hair. Scars on his face. Eyes that had seen too much death. Status of Captain Chen's ship? He asked. An officer checked the screens. Life support critical. Hull breaches on multiple decks. But the crew is alive, sir. Send rescue teams immediately. Get my daughter out of there. Yes, Admiral. Marcus turned to look at the Devourer fleet. 92 ships remained. Still dangerous. Still deadly. But now the odds were different. All ships focus fire on their command vessels. Disable their coordination. Make them confused. The Earth fleet attacked. It was not like the desperate battle before. This was organized. Professional. Overwhelming. Energy beams cut through Devourer shields. Torpedoes found their weak points. Fighter squadrons swarmed like angry insects. Within 10 minutes, 15 Devourer ships were destroyed. The enemy fleet began to retreat. Slowly. Carefully. They are running, an officer said. Let them, Marcus replied. We came here to save lives. Not chase ghosts. He opened a channel to the council station. This is Admiral Chin. Do you require assistance? ZYX appeared on screen. He looked exhausted. Grateful. Admiral, your timing was perfect. We have wounded. Many wounded. And our station is heavily damaged. Medical ships are on their way. We will help with repairs. Just tell us what you need. For the first time in hours, ZYX smiled. Thank you, Admiral. Thank you. The next few hours were busy. Medical teams moved between ships. Engineers worked on repairs. Bodies were recovered. Counted. Watered. Sarah was pulled from her destroyed ship. She was unconscious. Burned. Bleeding. But alive. They brought her to the medical bay on the Indomitable. Marcus stood over her bed. His hand touched her face gently. You did well, little star, he whispered. Rest now. I will take it from here. A doctor approached. Admiral, she will survive. But she needs time to heal. How much time? At least a week. Maybe more. Marcus nodded. He did not leave her side for an hour. Just watching. Making sure she breathed. Finally, duty called him away. He went to the council chamber. ZYX and the other members waited for him. Admiral Chin, ZYX began formally. We owe you our lives. How can we ever repay this debt? Marcus sat down heavily. You can answer my questions honestly. Of course. The Devourer. How much do you know about them? ZYX looked uncomfortable. Very little. They are legends. Stories. Until today, most of us thought they were myths. They are not myths, Marcus said grimly. They are real. Ancient. Powerful. And what you saw today was nothing. Cess, who had been rescued by the humans, leaned forward. Nothing? We lost dozens of ships. Those were scouts and light cruisers, Marcus explained. The Devourer has bigger ships. dreadnoughts, planet killers, ships that can destroy entire worlds. The council members looked at each other with fear. Kira spoke up. Admiral, if this was nothing, then how do we fight the real threat? Marcus looked at her. Really looked at her. He saw the burns on her hands. The determination in her eyes. You are the one who found us. Who believed? Yes, sir. What is your name? Kira, sir. Marcus nodded. Kira, the truth is simple. We cannot win by fighting alone. Not anymore. We need everyone. Every species. Every ship. Every soldier. An alliance, Throck said slowly. You want to form an alliance. I want to form an army, Marcus corrected. The largest army this galaxy has ever seen. Because the Devourer will return. With more ships. More weapons. And next time we might not be so lucky. ZYX stood up. Then we should begin immediately. We should organize. Train. Prepare. Not yet, Marcus said. He pulled up a holographic star map. It showed the entire galaxy. Red zones marked Devourer territory. Look at this. The Devourer controls 30% of the galaxy. They have been growing. Building. Waiting. We have maybe 3 months before they attack again. Maybe less. 3 months. Kree's voice was high with panic. That is not enough time. It is all the time we have, Marcus said firmly. So we use it wisely. He pointed to different areas of the map. First, we need to evacuate civilians from border worlds. Get them to safety. The Devourer kills everyone. No prisoners. No mercy. Second, we fortify key systems. Create defensive lines. Make them pay for every inch of space. Third, we train. Every pilot. Every soldier. Every crew member. I want your people fighting like humans. Fast. Smart. Deadly. Cess hissed thoughtfully. You want to turn us into warriors. I want to keep you alive, Marcus replied. There is a difference. Mike, the human engineer, raised his hand. Admiral, I have been working with Kira. She learns fast. Really fast. Maybe we should create mixed teams. Humans and council members together. Marcus considered this. Not a bad idea. Integration builds trust. Trust builds cooperation. I agree, Kira said quickly. I want to learn more. I want to fight properly. You already fought well, Mike told her. You just need refinement. Over the next several days the work began. It was hard. Exhausting. Sometimes frustrating. Human and council crews did not always understand each other. Different languages. Different customs. Different ways of thinking. But slowly they learned. Kira spent every day with Mike. He taught her about human weapons. Human tactics. Human philosophy of war. Why do humans always fight so aggressively? She asked one day. Mike thought about it. Because we learned long ago that defense is not enough. If you only defend, eventually you lose. You must attack. Strike first. Strike hard. Make the enemy fear you. But what if the enemy is stronger? Then you be smarter, Mike grinned. Humans are very good at being smart when we need to be. They built new weapons together. Modified council ships with human technology. Created hybrid designs that combine the best of both. In the training simulators, council pilots practiced against human instructors. They lost constantly at first. Badly. But gradually they improved. Cess, despite his age, was one of the best students. His reflexes were still sharp. His mind was tactical. You should have been a warrior, a human trainer told him. Cess hissed with amusement. I was a warrior. 50 years ago. I just forgot. Now I remember. Admiral Marcus watched everything. He moved between ships. Between stations. Between people. Always encouraging. Always pushing. One day he visited Sarah in the medical bay. She was awake now. Sitting up. Reading reports. You should be resting, he told her. I can rest when I am dead, she replied. Right now, I need to know our status. We are preparing. Training. Building. Your crew is being reassigned to other ships. Sarah looked sad. The Valiant is really gone? Yes. But Rodriguez will be remembered. I promise you that. They sat in silence for a moment. Dad, Sarah said quietly, do you think we can win? Really win? Marcus did not answer immediately. He looked out the window at the fleet. At the work. At the hope. I think we have a chance. A real chance. But only if everyone fights together. Only if we become one force. One army. One purpose. And if we fail? Then we die knowing we tried everything. That is all anyone can ask. 2 months passed. The training continued. The preparations continued. Council members learned to fight like humans. Humans learned to work with council technology. The differences became less important. The cooperation became natural. Kira became one of the best tactical officers. She combined human aggression with council precision. Even Marcus was impressed. She has potential, he told Mike. Real potential. She has more than that, Mike replied. She has heart. That is what matters. The fortifications were built. 20 star systems now had defensive platforms. Minefields. Weapon satellites. Traps everywhere. The evacuations were complete. Millions of civilians moved to safer areas. Away from the war zone. The army was ready. 500 human ships. 200 council ships. 50,000 soldiers. 100,000 support crew. It was impressive. Powerful. United. But was it enough? Admiral Marcus stood on the bridge of the Indomitable. He looked at the star map. At the red zones. At the enemy territory. Sir, an officer said nervously. Long-range sensors are detecting movement. In Devourer space. Lots of movement. Marcus's face became hard. How many ships? The officer checked and rechecked. At least 300, sir. Maybe more. They are gathering. Organizing. Heading. Toward us, sir. Toward council space. Marcus took a deep breath. Time until arrival? 48 hours. He opened the fleet-wide channel. His voice reached every ship. Every soldier. Every soul. This is Admiral Marcus Chen. I will not lie to you. The enemy is coming. In 48 hours we face the largest Devourer fleet ever assembled. We will be outnumbered. Outgunned. The odds are against us. He paused. Let them absorb that truth. But we have something they do not have. We have courage. We have unity. We have each other. Humans and council fighting side by side. Fighting as brothers and sisters. Fighting for our homes. For our families. For our future. His voice grew stronger. Fiercer. So prepare yourselves. Check your weapons. Say your prayers. Tell your loved ones you care. Because in 48 hours we write history. We show the galaxy what we are made of. We show the Devourer that this is our galaxy. And we will defend it to our last breath. Sarah, now recovered and back on duty, stood beside her father. That was a good speech. It was the truth, Marcus replied. Nothing more. She smiled. Then let us make sure the truth wins. Across the fleet, soldiers prepared. Pilots checked their ships. Gunners loaded weapons. Engineers triple-checked systems. Kira and Mike worked together on a final weapons modification. Are you scared? Kira asked. Terrified, Mike admitted. But I will fight anyway. That is what humans do. That is what we all do now, Kira corrected. Together. The 48 hours passed too quickly. The sensors began their warnings. Contact. Multiple contacts. Devourer fleet entering sensor range. Marcus and Sarah stood side by side on the bridge. Here we go, Sarah whispered. Here we go, Marcus agreed. The Devourer fleet emerged from hyperspace. Not 300 ships. 400 ships. The largest fleet anyone had ever seen. But this time the defenders were ready. This time they would not run. This time they would fight to the end. The Devourer fleet hung in space like a nightmare. 400 ships. Each one massive. Each one designed for one purpose. Destruction. Admiral Marcus Chen stood on his bridge. Come. Ready. All ships report status. One by one commanders responded. Ready. 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 700 ships total. Human and council together. The largest allied fleet in galactic history. But they were still outnumbered. Sir, an officer said quietly. They are not attacking. They are just waiting. Marcus studied the tactical display. The Devourer fleet sat perfectly still. They want us to be afraid. They want us to doubt. Sarah stood beside him. Her burns had healed, leaving scars. She wore them proudly. Should we attack first? No. We let them come to us. Our traps are ready. Our positions are strong. Let them walk into our web. Minutes passed. 10, 20, 30. The tension was unbearable.
Then the Devourer fleet moved. Slowly. All together. Like one enormous creature. Here they come, Marcus said. All ships hold positions. Wait for my command. The enemy fleet advanced. They passed the first marker. Then the second. Sir, they're entering the trap zone, an officer reported. Hold, Marcus ordered. Not yet. Kira watched from her tactical station. Her hands gripped the console. Mike stood beside her, equally tense. The Devourer ships reached the third marker. Now, Marcus said calmly, activate all mines. Space exploded. Hundreds of mines detonated at once. The explosions were massive, blinding. 20 Devourer ships were caught in the blast. Their shields failed. Their hulls cracked. All ships, attack pattern Omega, Marcus commanded. Hit them hard. The Allied fleet surged forward. Human ships from the left. Council ships from the right. A pincer movement. Energy weapons blazed. Torpedoes streaked through space. The battle had begun. The Devourer fleet responded. Red beams filled the void. Dozens of them. Hundreds. A council cruiser exploded instantly. Then another. Then a human destroyer. Evasive maneuvers. Commanders shouted across all channels. Sarah piloted her new ship, the Redemption. She dove through enemy fire. Her crew worked perfectly together. Half human, half council. A mixed team. Target that battleship, she ordered. Torpedoes, fire. Her weapons officer, a reptilian named Vec, launched the attack. Torpedoes away. Direct hit. The Devourer battleship shuddered, but did not explode. Again, Sarah commanded. Keep hitting it. 3 more torpedoes. The battleship's hull cracked. Energy leaked out. Finally, it exploded. 1 down. Vec hissed triumphantly. But there were so many more. On the Indomitable, Admiral Marcus coordinated the entire battle. Beta Squadron, reinforce the left flank. Delta Squadron, protect the station. Echo Squadron. An explosion rocked his ship. Direct hit. Shields at 60%. Return fire. All weapons. The battle was chaos. Pure chaos. Ships exploded on both sides. Debris filled space. Fire and death everywhere. Kira's station sparked. She worked frantically to repair it.
Mike.
I need help. Mike was already there. I got it. Keep targeting. They worked together. Human and alien.
Friends.
Warriors. A Devourer fighter squadron broke through the lines. They headed straight for the Council command station. They are going for the station, someone shouted. Cess, now commanding his own ship, intercepted them. Not today. His ship dove into their path. He fired everything he had. 2 fighters exploded. 3 more scattered. But 1 got through. It fired at the station. The beam hit the lower decks. Hull breach. Sections 7 through 12. Multiple casualties. ZYX was on the station. He helped evacuate civilians.
Move.
Everyone move. Get to the escape pods. An explosion nearby threw him against a wall. He felt his arm break. But he kept moving.
Kept helping.
A young alien child was trapped under debris.
Crying.
Terrified, ZYX pulled at the metal. His broken arm screamed with pain. But he did not stop. A human marine appeared. Together they lifted the debris. The child ran free. Go! ZYX shouted. Run! The marine nodded at him. Respect in her eyes. Then she moved to help others. In space, the battle raged on. 30 minutes passed. Then an hour. The Allied fleet had destroyed 80 Devourer ships. But they had lost 150 of their own. The numbers were not good. Sir, Sarah reported to her father. We are losing ships faster than we can replace them. We cannot sustain this. Marcus knew she was right. His tactical display showed the truth clearly. They were being overwhelmed. All ships, fall back to defensive line beta. We regroup, and suddenly, alarms blared. Admiral. New contacts. Coming from Sector 7. More Devourer ships. Marcus's heart sank. No, sir. The signature is, it is Council. Multiple Council fleets. From different systems. On the view screen, reality shimmered. New ships arrived. Ships from the Kree homeworld. Ships from the Cess clans. Ships from a dozen other species.
Hundreds of them.
A voice came over the radio. It was Throck. Admiral Chen, this is Council Reinforcement Fleet. Sorry we are late. Traffic was terrible. Marcus allowed himself a small smile. Better late than never, Throck. Welcome to the fight. Where do you need us? Everywhere. Hit their right flank. Break their formation. The fresh council ships crashed into the Devourer fleet. New energy. New hope. The tide began to turn. But the Devourer had one more surprise. The largest ship in their fleet, a massive dreadnought, suddenly powered up. It had been dark until now.
Silent.
It moved forward.
Slowly.
Deliberately. Sir, I am reading massive energy signatures from that dreadnought, an officer reported. It is charging some kind of weapon. What kind of weapon? I do not know, sir. But the energy readings are impossible. Nothing should generate that much power. Marcus watched the dreadnought. A cold feeling filled his chest. He had seen this before. 500 years ago. Planet killer, he whispered. It is a planet killer cannon. What? That weapon can destroy planets. If it fires at full power. Marcus did not finish. Everyone understood. Sarah's voice came through. Dad, we have to stop that ship.
Now.
I know. All ships, concentrate fire on that dreadnought. Everything we have. Every allied ship turned toward the dreadnought. Weapons blazing. Torpedoes launching. But the dreadnought's shields were too strong. The attacks barely scratched it. It is still charging, an officer shouted. 30 seconds to full power. Marcus made a decision. A terrible decision. Sarah, no matter what happens. I know what you're thinking, Sarah interrupted. And no, absolutely not. There is no other way. There is always another way. 20 seconds. Marcus looked at his crew. At his ship. At his life's work. I am sorry, everyone. It has been an honor. He turned to his helmsman. Set collision course with that dreadnought. Maximum speed. Sir, you cannot. That is an order. The Indomitable turned. Engines burning at full power. Heading straight for the dreadnought. 10 seconds. Sarah watched in horror.
Dad. No.
Please. Kira saw what was happening. No, she whispered. Admiral, no. 5 seconds. The Indomitable accelerated. Faster.
Faster.
Then another ship appeared, moving even faster, cutting in front of the Indomitable. It was Cess's ship. Cess, what are you doing? Marcus shouted. Cess's voice was calm, peaceful. What I should have done long ago, Admiral.
What warriors do.
We protect others. Cess. Tell my clan I died well. Tell them I died with honor. 2 seconds. For the council.
For humanity.
For everyone. Cess's ship crashed into the dreadnought's main cannon at full speed. The explosion was beyond description. Blinding light. Massive shockwave. The dreadnought's entire front section was destroyed. The planet killer cannon exploded before it could fire. The chain reaction tore through the dreadnought's hull. The massive ship broke in half. Both pieces drifted, lifeless. Cess was gone. His entire crew. 40 souls. All gone. The Allied fleet was silent. Stunned. Then Zwax's voice came over the radio. Shaking.
Proud. Sad.
Cess of the ancient clan. Hero of the council. Savior of millions. We will remember. We will remember. Thousands of voices echoed.
The